I request everybody to settle down. So, and we starting the business section for today. So I'll be reading out the role takers for the next week. So PNC has been booked by Toastmaster Video Center. 3 speakers has been booked by Toastmaster Balaji, Toastmaster Pavlisia, and Toastmaster Jeeva. Table topic master has been booked by Toastmaster Jyoti, and the remaining role, that is the individual evaluator, general evaluator, and captain is open. So if anybody interested can please be anyone. So with this, I will be giving back to the chance to associate DPPR to read out about this.
A very happy evening to all the fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests. The theme for the article is gratitude is an attitude. As we are getting to the publications, I request everyone to give their articles. So please send your articles to the email ID bhapanitm01@gmail.com. So thank you and over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Usman. I request everybody to send in your articles online. That's all from business session. I'm going to pass it over to Sajid.
Good evening. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Vaishnavi, this is the 3rd time you have failed in science. This was the line my science teacher told me when I was in 9th grade. Failing seems to have become your routine, followed by the other line. Until last week, I believed that failure was a synonym for guilt. Back in 8th standard, I had trained myself very hard to hide the check Roop could. But due to some reasons, I couldn't. Failures are part of your routine, but not your habits. The precise topic for today is can be working at PwC, a dog lover and stock enthusiast, and dream to travel the world and loves to try other adventures. Please help me welcome Toastmaster Gaurav.
Sorry for that technical glitch. So a very good evening to all the Toastmasters and all the guests present today. So there is this procedure we follow in Toastmasters, that is when there is a new guest, we request them to stand up and introduce ourselves and how we talk about Toastmasters. So here I can see one guest, and please tell us about yourself.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Supraya Bhatt, and I'm a final year student at Jain University pursuing aviation management. But I'm basically from Chicago, the land of coffee. But I got to know about Toastmasters through one of my lecturers at the university, who was also a part of Toastmasters, and it struck me when he mentioned that his life changed for the better when he got into Toastmasters, and how it polished his, personal skills or communication skills and all that. It intrigued me because I would rather do something productive than, everybody has their own definitions of fun. And doing something productive is my definition of fun. So that's how I, contacted Gaurav and I got into this. Thank you.
There's one more guest, I request you to use that.
Hello everyone, I'm Naman, his friend Mugesh's friend, and I'm so proud of him. And today he will be delivering a speech.
It's like record methods to watch my speech, they won't record it, send it to me. That's all an option. I think that's all from this side. I welcome all the guests to our club, and I hope you guys joining our club as soon as possible. So with this, I'd like to call the secretary to read out the minutes to be waiting for the previous.
Here are the minutes of meeting number 1175 held on the 16th of August 2020. Theme was Tryst with Destiny, word of the week, abominable. The business session started at 6:32 p.m. and was chaired by President Toastmaster Lalna. In the business session, the following points were addressed. The Vice President Education Toastmaster Gaurav mentioned that apart from the 2 speech slots, Master of Ceremonies and all other roles were open for the next meeting. Interested members were requested to contact him for the same. The Associate Vice President Public Relations Toastmaster Ujjwal requested the members to contribute articles to the quarterly newsletter themed Gratitude is an Attitude. The articles need to be submitted by the 10th of September 2020. The regular meeting started at 6:36 p.m. Acting Sergeant at Arms Toastmaster Shiva Prasad started the meeting with an introduction about the theme and later handed over the charge to President Toastmaster Lalna. The President opened the meeting, spoke on the theme and introduced the Master of Ceremonies Toastmaster Sharane Prasad. Master of Ceremonies spoke on the theme and introduced the following role takers for the day. Timer Toastmaster Lakshmi, Accountant Toastmaster Shiva Prasad, Grammarian Toastmaster Pavani Katta, and PP Evaluator Toastmaster Sai Snehal. Prepared speech session at the following speakers. First one, Toastmaster Jeevita, attempting level 1 project 1 and was evaluated by TTM Udana. Second one, Toastmaster Sanjana Prabhanjan, attempting level 3 project 1 and was evaluated by TTM and The table topic session was conducted by Toastmaster Ujjwal and had 9 speakers in total. General evaluation was conducted by Toastmaster Jyoti Rao. The winners of the week were Best Prepared Speaker Toastmaster Sanjana Prabhanjan, Best Evaluator TTM MU Bhatt, Best Table Topic Speaker Toastmaster Veerabhadrappa, Best Role Taker Tag G Toastmaster Sai Snehal Reddy, and Best Role Taker MTG Toastmaster Ujjwal. The President closed the meeting at 8:33 p.m. which was followed by the national. Thank you and back to you.
Is there any changes in the open meeting number 1176? So when you look at failure, like failure is meaning is the same, but failure is different for each individual. For example, for someone a failure might be being unemployed, for someone a failure like a sports person. If you ask them what is a failure, then they say losing a gold medal for a country or losing a match which is the World Cup final. But failure can be a different thing for each individual. But I go to this sentence that many of them say that you become mature some age, but I don't agree to this statement. I don't believe that. I believe that you get mature when you fail and you want to fail. So I completed my BCom last year, and when this COVID started, I finished my second year degree and I moved to third year degree. And third year degree was when this placement started in my college. And all my family relatives were that placement is very important. If you get into a very good company, that is when people look up to you. Having a good salary is what actual life is. They put all the pressure on. So I'm someone who plans everything. For example, from my house to coming to Toastmasters, I come up with 3 scenarios. The first scenario is I have to pick up size here and get it. So that is scenario 1. So for that I have to take different route. I have to leave my house around 5:50. If I'm not coming with it, I can leave our house around 5:30. I can take different route and reach here by 6 o'clock. The third scenario that is rain when it rains. I have come up with different scenarios. This doesn't work out, I have a plan C. But plan C is not working out, I have plan D. So sometimes when nothing goes according to what I planned, then I freak out. I don't know what to do, I start shivering, I lose my mind. So my plan was in this placement was to sit for this big 4 companies, which is this auditing firm, KPMG, EY, PwC, and Deloitte. So I fixed my mind, okay, I'm gonna sit for these 4 companies, I wanna get into this 4. So first came KPMG and getting into these companies, there will be 4 rounds. First one is the aptitude test where they test your logical reasoning, mental math, looking at questions, it will actually go mental. So after aptitude test, there will be group discussion. Group discussion, I am like, this is very easy for me, they'll just give one topic. You just have to talk for or against the topic and prove your point. I'm like, come on, I'm a Toastmaster, whatever topic session, how much I've given, this is nothing. Then the third one is technical round, where the interviewer will ask some technical questions regarding the role they are applying. And that is where I struggled a lot. And the third one and fourth one is HR round, where they are asked these cliche questions like, what is your aim in life? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? What do you expect from company? These cliche questions. So first came KPMG, I gave my aptitude, some of practice. And second came the group discussion where I gave it. Third came the technical. So the job the role I was applying and the questions I had prepared for was not simple. So they're asking some questions I'm not understanding. The answer which I used to give the most was like, I'll get back to you, sorry, I don't know anything regarding this. I couldn't clear the third one. Then I'm like, okay, KPMG is gone, XPZ one. I cracked the first 2 rounds again. And unfortunately, there was some miscommunication between the company and the college, and the company went away from that test. Then I'm like, okay, EY is also gone. I'm like, okay, let me try for Deloitte. Deloitte aptitude is like 10 times worse than what I expected. I'm not understanding what is this aptitude questions they are asking. I'm like, okay, Deloitte is also gone. I couldn't hear the first one. So I had plan B. Okay, plan A is not working out. Plan B is for all the companies that is coming. We at least get placed in one. They sat for 15 to 16 companies and I got accepted in all 15 to 16. Then I am seeing all my friends have got placed in the dream companies that I planned. And I am like, okay, I don't know what to do. There are 2 scenarios that were running in my mind. First one, do MBA like others, and then find a job, or else take care of that business, which I didn't want it to do. Then I'm like, okay, what is to be done? I'm not understanding anything. I was mentally disturbed. Then my mom saw me, then she's like, okay, I'm observing that you have been mentally disturbed from past few days. Has any girl rejected you or something? I'm like, it's not the girl, but I'm getting rejected, company after company, and I'm not understanding what to do. Nothing is going according to what I planned. So my mom tells me like, why do you plan so many stuff? Like, it's okay to go within a flow, than is go within a flow never, me and the flow never go hand in hand. So I'm like, okay, I'm not someone who can go within the flow, I have to plan it. She's like, for once, don't plan, it's okay. I know you wanted to get into this big 4 and it's not happening, it's fine. And you sat for other companies, it's not happening, it's okay. Just don't give up hope, it's fine. If you thought you needed 2 months left for my college to get over, once my college I'm graduated, displacements is gone. So it's like, it's okay, just go help dad in his business. Sideways prepare for MBA or sideways for other companies. Who knows if you crack an interview, you will get a job. I'm like, okay, that's also a very good idea. Then came PwC. So, PwC came, I'm like, okay, I'll just give this one shot. If this thing work out, then I'm going to sit with that and look at this business. So, I cracked all the first 3 interviews, first 3 rounds, and the last one was the HR interview. I'm like, HR interview, one cliche question they asked, I just have to answer. And there also the sharp technical questions. I'm like, okay, I was not prepared for this thing. But then I somehow cleared it, and after like 2 weeks, I got the job. And after I started working, then I realized, okay, it's actually not, it's okay to not have a plan. It's fine to go with the flow. It's okay if you fail, even if you fail, it's okay. Like many of my friends, like when I was still sitting in the placement, many of my friends are like, oh, you got placed in any company? What is the salary? I'm like, I'm not yet placed, I'm still sitting there. Oh, you still didn't get your job, okay, so sad. And that you should bring me down. And my mom used to say, see, if you're doing a bad thing, if you're doing a good thing, people talk. People are there to talk, don't bother whatever they say, just do what you feel like doing. So after I started working, one of my junior, she came to, it's her time to sit to placements. And her dream company came for the placement, and she was texting one of my close friends, his name is Noel. So she was texting him saying, this company I want to get into, can you please help me how to crack this interview? So my friend tells me, do one thing, contact her. He'll help you with this. So she contacted me. Then I spoke to my friend saying, why did you ask her to contact me? Because I've been rejected like 20 times. He's like, you know what, that's actually a good thing. Because you know what kind of questions and how to crack those interviews because you have 20 times of experience. Emotionally, I was hurt, but logically, I felt it's true. Then I started training my junior and I see for aptitude. First thing, read what is the job role is. According to your job role, the questions will be according to that. So I'm like go to these websites, go to these YouTube videos to ensure how to crack these aptitude questions. Then she cracked the first round and like for group discussion, ensure you read news every day. Like example, when I was in PwC, the topic they gave was nowadays these electric vehicles is becoming high. So do you feel that all these petrol vehicles should be removed and only electric should be bought up in this current world? So then like these kind of small topics they give which is related to news. So go through your news and I've like every time I observe in this group discussions is all the students who have been sitting, they are in a eager to talk and finish it off. So don't do that when you in a group discussion. Ensure you start the discussion or else you conclude the discussion because the interviewer will know what you have spoken in the start or at the end. In between, they forget whatever they say. So in the group discussion which I was sitting, the topic which they gave, I was just listening to what others were saying. When you talk, I will finish at the end. So everyone used to say, yeah, you should bring back this electric vehicle. It's eco-friendly, good for Mother Earth. And like at the end, I concluded saying, okay, it's eco-friendly, it's good for Mother Earth, I agree. But look at the cost price of it. It's 1.4 lakhs. You think a middle class family guy can afford a scooter which is 1.4 lakhs. So of course, I support the electric vehicles, but cut down the cost. Then that can be, I think that you can remove the petrol vehicles and stick to the electric vehicles and the interviewer body plus the points. I'm like, okay, do the same thing. And the third one was the technical one, which I struggled along. So I trained her saying that just go, what is the job description. Just go through the topics according to that, then you can take care of it. Then she cracked the third round and even the HR round. She could crack it. Then she texts me saying, Gaurav, thanks a lot, you helped me, get into my dream company, got this. I'm like, wow, that's actually great news. Even though failing 20 times, because somehow helping someone, like one of my juniors. So that time I realized it's okay to fail. Like I used to feel very bad if I failed all that. So it's okay to fail. It's okay if you fail, you get more mature is what I feel. And it's okay not to have a plan. Like you as a plan is saying this, so it's okay to not have a plan. So with this, I'd like to give back the charge to the master of ceremonies for the day, and let's see what she has, what's her point of view for this topic. So the master of ceremonies for the day has completed her schooling in Prarthana School and currently studying BCom third year in Tansen Group of Institutions. She is a passionate mandala artist, which I support, which I love. Is one of my favorite type of art. and she's a music and a dance is one of her therapy. So with the usual of applause, please help me welcome the Master of Ceremonies of the Day Toastmasters.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gaurav, for such a heartwarming introduction. A very happy evening to all the fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests. Fail early, fail often, but always fail forward. This was quoted by John C. Maxwell. Even though 3 of 8 words in the sentence is fail, yet this is about success. When I was 8 or 9 years old, I had got the bicycle of my choice, finally. I was super excited and started running it. For a couple of months, my father accompanied me and taught me how to ride it. One day, when I was confident enough that I could go alone, casually in the evening, I took the cycle and went for a ride. I pedaled for quite some time, but then I was stopped by a dog. I freaked out and I pedaled faster and faster and faster. But for my bad, I fell down and I hurt myself very badly. This did not stop me. After a few days, I again went for a ride, but took a different route this time. And guess what? This time, I was interrupted by a small kid. He was standing to the right side of the road and I was to the left. Out of the blue, he just ran towards me and I totally lost the balance and fell down humbly. Do you think a karate kid would stop after this? Of course not. I did fall off a n number of times even after this. But if I hadn't failed, I wouldn't have learned how to overcome that type of situation. If I hadn't fallen down, I would never know how to keep my balance while pedaling. When you fail often, all you do is make it as a learning experience to advance things. You bounce back up to your feet, and all you do is you don't sit back and think about it, but move forward. One such person who failed fast and failed forward to develop people's public speaking skills and leadership qualities with a great foresight was Ralph C. Smetty, who started Toastmasters in 1924 at YMCA Santana, California. There are 356,000 member clubs across 149 countries, serving through 16,800 member clubs. Mekong Communication Club is one such successful club which was started on 1st May 1999. A typical Toastmasters meeting consists of 3 sessions. First, being the prepared speech session, where the speakers get time to prepare for a speech on a subject of their choice as per the guidelines of the manual. Second, the most interesting table topic session, where the speakers are chosen randomly and given a topic to which they have to respond within a minute or 2. Third, being the general evaluation session, which is full of learnings and takeaways, where the prepared speech speakers and the proceedings of the meeting will be evaluated and the feedback will be given. For an effective meeting, we have the 4 pillars for today: timer, grammarian, counter, and TP evaluator. I request the role takers to explain their roles as and when I call out their names. Can we have TP evaluator DTM Udanka?
The PP evaluator, there are few rules are included here. First, please refrain talking about sex, religion, and politics. Please put your phones on silent or switch off phones so that it does not disturb the speaker. And for all the members who want to leave the room, please do it during the applause and please avoid crosstalks. And there is no online audience, so we are good with that. Back to you.
Thank you, DTM Udanka. Our founder Toastmaster Vishnu.
A very happy evening to all the fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests. The purpose of an R counter is to note any overused words or filler sounds used as crutch by anyone who speaks during a meeting. Words may be inappropriate interjections such as and, well, but, so, and you know. Sounds may be or a. I'll give my report at the general evaluation, and before hand over the charge back to the MC, I would like to tell that no person in this world is perfect. Everyone has disparity in their characteristics, but all we can do is try to cut down crunch words as much as possible. So thank you, and hand over the charge back to the MC.
Thank you, Toastmaster Richard. Grammarian Toastmaster Sharon. Good evening to all the fellow Toastmasters and welcome dear guests. What distinguishes us, or what is the disparity of us Toastmasters with others? It is the words and the grammatical sentences that we inculcate in our communication. To have a sensible and an understanding communication, grammar and usage of words is very important and integral part. As a grammarian, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all the speakers, listen to them carefully. I will also make note of all the good usages, which include outstanding words, quotes, and I will also make not so good usages for the betterment of all of us. It is also my duty to introduce the word of the day, that is disparity, which means great difference. An example to this word is, there is certainly a whole disparity in the number of players unavailable per game this session. I repeat, the word of the day is disparity. I request everyone not to be reluctant and use the word of the day. I will be giving my report at the general evaluation when called upon by the general evaluator. Thank you and back to you. Toastmaster Sharani, time and action. Once again, good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Time is not what we want most, but we use it at worst. As the timer of the day, I shall make sure that no one fails to make best use of their time. We have two speeches, which is about 5 to 7 minutes. I shall show the green card at 5 minutes, yellow card at 6 minutes, and red at 7 minutes. For table topic session, I shall show the green card for at 1 minute, yellow card at 1 minute 30 seconds, and red at 2 minutes. I shall give my report at the end of the meeting. Thank you and back to you. Thank you all of the role takers for explaining your roles. Now, quickly let us dive into the first session, that is the prepared speech session. We have two speakers for today. Before I call upon the first speaker, I would like to call Toastmaster Vijay Upendra to read out the project guidelines.
Today, Toastmasters welcome guests. The purpose of this project is for the member to introduce himself or herself to the club and learn the basic structure of public speech. Notes for the evaluator. The member is completing his or her first speech in Toastmasters. The goal of the evaluation is to give member an effective evaluation of his or her speech and deliver style. Because the icebreaker is the first project a member completes. You may choose to use only the notes section and not numerical scores. All the best to the speaker. Back to you, MC.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vijay Upendra. Since it's an icebreaker speech, let the speaker introduce himself. The speaker is attempting level 1, project 1 with his speech title, Life Goes On. So please help me welcome our first speaker, Toastmaster Mukesh, with a huge round of applause.
Good evening, everyone, respected Toastmasters and guests. I'll be presenting my first speech on the Toastmaster platform. The title of my speech is Life Goes On. My name is Mukesh Udeshi. I'm 19 years old, currently pursuing BBA from LA Bangalore. After post BBA, I'll be trying to pursue a post management degree, mostly abroad. Regarding my family consists of 5 members. my younger sister, my father, my dad, sorry, my mother, and my Fui. Fui is basically dad's sister. My dad is currently retired. He used to work in the retail service, and he was the president of the Sparks hypermarket. My mom was a homemaker. Now currently started working, which is a very good thing for her as well as for me. I'm very proud of her. And she's working as a content writer. And my sister is a she just passed 12th standard and got into Christ University and currently doing a BBA LLB. So everything is going on very well for the family as well as for me. Now about my personal life, uh, sorry, about my personal life, I'm originally from Mumbai. I started my schooling, done my primary schooling in Mumbai, in Yashodham High School, and I shifted to Bangalore around April 2015, and then that's when the life actually started going for me. I started doing more things in Bangalore, started going out and started meeting more people. So Bangalore has been a better place for me than in Mumbai. So in Bangalore, I've started basketball, which I love. I love to play sport, and I've also I've done athletics training. And with athletics training, I've won many medals for that sport. I've also won for many other sports competitions like basketball, cricket, football, badminton as well. Apart from sports, I'm very fond of human psychology and related topics to human psychology because I love the way how the human works and how a human reacts to a society or a person or an animal. So that intrigues me a lot. Apart from that, my sorry, apart from my hobbies and interests, I'm also very interested in cooking, traveling. In traveling, I have gone to a few places like Malaysia, Indonesia, and Dubai. And of course, they are great places, but no one can beat India. It's a place of diverse states, food, and of course, people also. And the best thing about India is the food. I love the Indian cuisine. If you compare to if you compare Indian food to any other part of the world, Indian food cannot be compared because Indian food is yeah. Indian food has so many varieties, and if you travel 20 kilometers, there's a different cuisine or a different variety of food every time you go 20 kilometers from one place to another place. It doesn't happen anywhere else. So that's a great thing about India. Um, um, Recently, around the third wave of COVID, my life was going well, very well, and suddenly I got a bumper, not only for me, but for my family members as well as my friends. I've been diagnosed with a disease called a rare disease called sarcoidosis. It's an autoimmune inflammatory disease. It affects main organs like heart, kidney, lungs, and all kinds of body parts. Currently, I've been affected with affected in my eye, lungs, and my brain. So I'm currently dealing with it. So with this, I've learned few things. So the things I've learned is I just want to share it because the reason I'm sharing is because I used to be a very healthy person. I used to be very fit. I'm a very sporty person and I can do all kinds of things. But life is very unpredictable, so you can't get what you always wanted. So I just got a disease and we are going with it. So the things I've learned is that life is not what you always think is. It is unpredictable. You should always be contented with what you have and you should be happy with what you're getting and you should always give in return. That's what I've learned with this life and hopefully more I learn and then so and how I got to know about Toastmaster is that my dad was reading a book and he saw that Toastmaster was a platform for public speaking. So, and I also needed help in public speaking. So, my dad and I had a small discussion about starting the session on public speaking, and this was the right time and right platform that Toastmaster created for me. So, I attended few guest lectures, and with the guest lectures, I found the session is quite helpful for me. So I joined this Toastmaster club and now here I am but due to my regular hospital visits, I couldn't visit many sessions of the club. So sorry for that. Excuse me. So, but from now on, I'll try to attend as many sessions as possible. And to end the session, I would like to quote a beautiful. Sorry, I like to quote. Sorry, I would like to say a beautiful line. If you look at what you have in life, you'll always have more. But if you look at what you don't have in life, you'll never have to. Quote by Oprah Winfrey. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mukesh. It was an amazing icebreaker speech. Now, moving on to the second and also the last speaker for today. Before I call upon the speaker, I would like to call the Evaluator Toastmasters Sanjana Prabanjan to read out the project guidelines. A very good evening to fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. The purpose of this project is the member will deliver a well-organized speech on any topic, focus on members' speaking style, be sure to recommend improvements that the member can apply. That's the notes for the evaluator. And the speech may be humorous, informational, the style of the member chooses. The member will ask you to evaluate their second speech at a future meeting. And I'm sorry I missed out the purpose of the speech. That is to practice applying feedback and serve as a speech evaluator during a club meeting. And the member to present a speech and receive feedback from the evaluator. I wish the member all the very best, and I will submit my evaluation at the end of the general evaluation. Thank you, Toastmaster Sanjana Prabanjan. The speaker works as a project manager for quality at UD Trucks. She has completed BE in Mechanical Engineering from BMSCE. She collects postcards and is happy to have been to the world's highest post office and to have sent a postcard from there. She enjoys singing, especially retro Kannada. She is also an avid reader, consuming fiction and non-fiction alike. The speaker is attempting level 1 project 2 speech 1 with speech title Go Solo, Go Far. So please help me to welcome Toastmaster Sanjana H.A. with a thunderous round of applause. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and welcome dear guests. So this June I'd been to Spiti Valley on a solo trip, and Spiti Valley is so that is in Himachal Pradesh, and it is a cold desert. So there are just two weathers there. You have summers and desert and cold. So Spiti Valley, there are two routes to take to Spiti Valley. It's called the Spiti Circuit. You either start from Manali and then do the circuit and end at Shimla, or you start from Shimla and then go back to Manali. So I did the circuit from Shimla and back to Manali, and these are the places that I went to. However, today I won't be talking about the places that I've been to because 5 to 7 minutes is not enough really. I would like to discuss more on how do you prep for a solo trip, how do you go alone, why do you go all by yourself. The premise of my speech today will be on 3 things. One is hard working, smart working, and networking, and how this can help you travel solo. So the first step that one should take before they go on a solo trip is to define a purpose. I mean, it's okay if you don't have a purpose also. You can be like, I just want to go. But that also will help you make critical decisions on your trip. So
So once you have the purpose, it helps you decide the place. And when you decide the place, just print a map. Just understand the geography of the place. So this is the hard-working phase that begins. So learn about the demography of the place. Who are the people who live there? What is their culture? What food do they eat? And what is the latest news from that place? That really helps you prep for the trip. And the hospitals that are there. So in Spiti Valley, there's just one hospital with no facility, not much. So you will have to know these things before you go there. You don't have to have a surprise, right, or a shock. And then learn about the transport facilities that are available there. How do people commute there, and the emergency contacts. So list down all the emergency contacts and get some basic first aid training or some kit with you. Of course, don't overdo things. Don't be like, I want to prepare for the worst case. So if this set of clothes get wet, I have one more. If this gets wet, I have one more. So don't overdo it. But be prepared for the worst. So this is the hard working phase of any trip. Then comes the very important phase, which is the smart work. So on the trip, you can only work smart because you have to take so many decisions. As simple as leaving your bag all by itself and going to the loo. Imagine you're in a public place and you have no idea about anybody there. How do you trust? So these small things, you have to be able to discern between people. What do you share? Who do you share it with? Sometimes you have to even come up with aliases, backstories, because you don't want to share everything with everybody. So don't be like, if somebody asks you your name and you don't want to share, don't be like, Shilpa. Don't do that because you don't want people to know your name. So you'll have to be basically smart work there. And once your smart working is done, so I'd like to also stress on one point. Hard working to up to one point will help you work smart. Like from city, I go to Amritsar. Amritsar was blazing 42 degrees and Spiti was 2 degrees. So I cannot carry the same clothes. That would not work. So I had to be smart enough to take both sets of clothes. So that does help you until one point. But the decisions or the smartness that you need is something you have to inculcate over a period of time to practice. So once the smart work is done, then comes network. So it might be go solo, but you will be meeting a lot of people there. And it's very important to tell the right things to the right people. And if you're smart, you already discern between people. So it's like you tell the barber to get paid. Does not work like that, right? So once you go to the place where there are complete set of strangers, it's very important to connect with those people, not on a transactional basis, but build genuine connections which will help you in your journey. I'll illustrate this with an example. So I had to go to Pin Valley, and there's a village called Mud village in Pin Valley, which is the last village there. And with my hard work, I had read about the Himachal people, their culture, and I really wanted to stay with their family, which is very different from staying in a homestay or a hotel. So I boarded a bus to Pin Valley. There's a bus every day that goes in the evening. And then there's one person sitting next to me. His name is Prem Bhaiya. So I asked him like where is he going and what does he do, etc. etc. And then he told me that there was another solo traveler who I had met on my journey, previously, and that solo traveler is staying in Prem Bhaiya's house. So it sort of helped me build a little trust on that person. And then I told him that I want to stay with the family and, because I've been staying in homestays and hotels. Then he asked his aunt to take me as his guest and I stayed with their family. And that was such a humbling piece experience because that family of 5, I think. So I don't ask me their names, it was either Tenzing or Cherry, something like that. So these guys had made around 70 momos. They sat for 3 hours, beautifully folded those momos. So there was a chula in the center, and they placed all the momos there, and we all sat and ate together. So they had also invited the laborers. So they're building a new place. So there's no disparity between people, like everybody's same. So they all built the house together. So they invited the laborers also. One was from Bihar, one was from Nepal, and we all sat together and ate the momos and drank tea. It was very humbling. And not just that, the daughter-in-law let me wear the Himachali dress, and we all took photos. So I have one photo from that. Yeah, this was the family, and she was the daughter-in-law and the auntie and her son. And these were 2 cousins of his. So they let me wear the dress also and take pictures, and they were really happy. And the thing is, next day morning, she saw me off in the bus and bid me goodbye. So this happened because I was able to read about these people and also be able to make smart decisions and also network with the right people there. So this is all when you're on the trip, now you're done with the trip. So when you come back, it's very important to reflect on what you've learned. So when I say go solo, go far, it's not just you had those experiences and you just come back, but you take those learnings and that will go so far. So that is why I say go solo, go far. So thank you.
Mr. Sanjana, for delivering such a neatly drafted speech. Even I'm feeling like going on a solo trip now. Moving on to the second session, the most exciting and terrestrial, the table topic session. Today's table topic master is an experienced senior technology professional who designs and manages enterprise software systems and projects. She holds a BE degree in electronics from Bangalore University and a MS in computer science from Arizona State University. She is a certified project management professional and certified Scrum Master. She has worked in multinational companies in the US and India. She has also embarked on an entrepreneurial journey for the last few years. She enjoys reading and listening to Hindustani classical music. She is also learning to play Veena and has taken few exams in Sanskrit by Samskrita Bharati. Please help me to welcome Toastmaster Lakshmi with a huge round of applause.
Thank you, Toastmasters, for that wonderful introduction. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guests. So, table topics, as you all know, is a fun part of the evening. So, I hope you're all awake and alert. So, this is the impromptu speaking section of the evening. Just to give you a line or two about table topics for the guests, especially. It encourages you to think on your feet as you improvise and deliver unrehearsed speech. So this section is specifically designed to develop 4 essential communication skills: listening, thinking, organizing, as well as speaking. So I will give you a topic, and it would be great if anybody wants to volunteer, put your hand up, I will call you. But if not, I will call upon one of you and ask you to speak about the topic for 1 to 2 minutes. Our efficient timer here will alert you to the time. So I encourage all of you to use the word of the day if possible during your speech. So let's start. I have tried to select topics around today's theme. So fail early, fail often, but always fail forward. So said Mr. Maxwell. So how do you fail early and fail often? Let's see. If you are somebody who frequently tries something new and unknown, there is a decent chance you will fail early, you will fail often. So in other words, you have to take a risk. The ability to take a risk gives you the freedom to try new things. So can you share with us an experience where you took a risk and what you learned from it? The success or failure of the risk is not the matter, but focus on what the risk was and what you learned from it. Do I have any volunteers?
Please.
I invite Toastmaster Evaluator.
Everyone, namaskar. I'm very proud to say I never failed in my life. Whatever I attempted, I used to get it. I am such a type of character. Even now I am a character. I was the treasurer of the association, and the meeting went an annual general body meeting in the Bangalore club. I was being a treasurer, I was submitting all those things, and suddenly I got a phone call from my friend saying that, sir, I need to admit my daughter to the hospital. I need 10,000 rupees. Why don't you come here and help me? It is a very SOS this thing for me. I had something already. I had put something in the club. I took the vehicle, came back, and arranged 10,000 rupees to him so that which enables him to put my daughter to the nursing home. While coming back, you know very well, police people caught me. What I am trying to say is, I never failed. That's what I wanted to tell you to the younger generation who are sitting here. If you're honest and sincere, definitely you can achieve what you want in your life. Police people caught me and he said, I will not kill you, I will confiscate your vehicle. I know I have to go there where Narayanmurthy and very important people are sitting in a club. I said, I will talk to the sub-inspector. What? We can talk to the sub-inspector. Do you think he will leave you? Okay, Papa. If you give permit, I will go and speak to him. I went there and said, sir, give me the time tomorrow. I will be present, whatever the time you specify. Are you a so honest man? Yes, sir, I am an honest man. If I don't turn up, think I am dead. If I don't turn up, think I am dead. The reason is that when he allowed me to go, I completed the meeting. Tomorrow I went and said, I determined I should not pay the fine. Even though it is a drunk and drive case, I determined I should not pay the fine. I went to the Basupudi police station. I said, sir, how come here? Please pay 750 rupees. I will waive off. Sir, you have to waive off this fees. He told his subordinate, Papa, this man is asking this right to waive off the case. How is it possible? Then I said, shall we have a cup of coffee outside? Then he told the policeman to take a cup of the coffee and said, no, it is not possible, you have to pay the fees. Sir, if you allow me, I will speak to your higher officer. Whom you are going to speak? I am going to speak to the commissioner. Do you know commissioner? Yes, sir, I know the commissioner. When I organized this IT.com, his daughter swallowed the chocolate and it was stuck in the throat and he was shouting on me, why don't you take to the hospital? And said, sir, chocolate will vanish away. Give me some time. He scolded on me in this connection. I agree. And for this small petty issue, why you want to go to the commissioner? Go and talk to the sub-inspector permission. Sir, he is my relative. Baba, you know everybody. Please go off from here. This thing. Next day I went again. He asked me, why did you came here? Sir, there is a saying you should not believe police people and advocates and other things. Baba, I have taken off your name, go peacefully. He became a friend of mine. Even if I see him, we salute each other. My dear friends, have a courage, conviction, commitment, confidence, desire, direction, dedication, discipline in your life. Success is yours.
Thank you, Toastmasters. Unusual take on the topic. It was wonderful, and your fluency in speaking is awesome, sir. Just to watch it. All right. So, by show of hands, any sports people here? Not, I don't mean people who represent, states, countries, whatever. Just who play sports with a passion. Anybody? Excellent. So, any sports person here knows how to accept failure and how to learn from it. So, can you tell us how you have learned to manage and handle failure better because of the sport that you play? So, I invite, yes, Suprabha. Yeah. Can or I don't know. Yeah. And so I started getting into sports when I was in 5th grade. So I was the captain of volleyball, 4th leg and relay, state level player in badminton and chess, of course. That's something I specialize in. So when I was in 5th grade, when I came to 7th grade, it was actually I wouldn't say politics because that would be like putting my failure or exhibition into something out of my control. Just because I didn't get something, I can't be like, oh, they did politics and they didn't take me. And then during the season, I had this, there was this district level sports tournament that was supposed to happen. And at the same time, we had something that's called Pratibha Karagi. That means all the cultural events happen. So I was a Bharatanatyam dancer and I had to choose one of the things.
ego come in between, and I went to Bharatanatyam because I knew that it was easy to win because there were not a lot of Bharatanatyam dancers back then. So I gave it up, and I lost Bharatanatyam. Sports was also gone. That's when I realized, there's something bigger than your ego. That is, putting yourself out there. If I could manage, I would have been a part of both the teams, but then I let my ego come in between because maybe I had a lot of childhood trauma. That is, my parents were working and I couldn't have the quality time with them. So that might have led me to validate myself through others. I couldn't. I was seeking validation. So I thought that might be something I have to work upon. So then I got into inner child healing, meditation, pranayama, yoga, and all that. That's when I realized whatever you want, whatever you seek, it's not out there, it's in you. It's nothing can be considered as good or bad. It's the thinking that makes it, the label that you give it to that makes it. So of course, everybody fails. If J.K. Rowling had given up after the first time she got rejected, I don't think so we would have ever read Harry Potter, which is a hit. So I think that no matter how many times life puts you down, you have to get back stronger, because that's what makes life, worth living. If everything goes your way, you'll never know the value of it. You'll be like, oh, I wonder I got it. You know the value of something only when you lose it and you work hard and you lose it again. But then that's how you learn through life. Thank you.
Spoken like a true sportsman. And what a wonderful lesson so young in life. Excellent. So there is a word called resilience. Does anybody know what it means? What is resilience to you? Can anybody tell me the meaning? Toughness. It is the ability, it is defined as the ability to recover from difficulties and obstacles. So the next topic for today is failing helps build resilience. Is it true? Can you tell us about an experience or tell us why you think failing helps build resilience? Any volunteers? Yes, sir.
And to be able to topic master. Today, the Toastmasters welcome guests. Failing has become a habit as far as life is concerned, especially with me. Till 2003, I failed many times because I was not knowing the method how I have to handle my own life. That was the reason. In the 1991-92, I entered into a partnership. I failed. 93-94, again I ventured. I failed. 98, restarted again. By 2003, I again restarted from a different sector altogether. From automobile to electrical line to finance. It's only in 2003 when I entered financial field, I realized one thing. All these years I was following to chasing something else. I did not realize what potential I had, where to work, how to take forward my life. It is in 2003 when I entered financial field, I realized where I went wrong. That means at the age of 43, I restarted my life, to be more precise. From there till now, I have not failed. To be more precise, in year 2018, I quit financial field. I entered a new field known as estate planning. It's totally a different field altogether. It is a sunrise industry as far as India is concerned. I ventured into this now. I'm working very hard. The reason behind that is, every now and then you change different fields, you start again and go deep into it. Then only you will understand various nuances of life. Otherwise, sitting in a particular division, working for 30 or 40 years, even though he is a top person, he may not be knowing the external world at all. Today, confidently, I can face the world. In the year 2019, I joined Toastmasters. What for? To develop communication skills. Till such time, I was doing only the conversation part of it, not the communication. Then what communication is all about? Transformation of one's own thought into action with a view to achieve a goal. That's what communication is all about. Conversation is one-to-one, communication is one-to-many. Unless I have the capability of influencing minds of all the people here, it's not communication. Thank you and back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vijay Upendra, for taking us on your journey. We wish you all the best and success in all your endeavors. All right, a very famous person, you will know as soon as I say this, once said, I have not failed. I have simply found 10,000 ways that don't work. Who said this? Albert Einstein. Exactly. Edison, Thomas Edison. Right. So Thomas Alva Edison, he failed fast and often on his way to the light bulb. And we all know what he encountered accomplished. We are not going to delve into that here. So I'm saying failing expands your skill sets and your confidence. Do you agree? Failing expands your skill sets and your confidence. Share your thoughts. Experience and yes.
And good evening and good evening, fellow Toastmaster and the audience. Failing for the first time, not at least in the debating field of law, my first moot court. For the ones who don't know what's a moot court, it's like a trial run which is done for law students before entering the real courts. It was in Mumbai, an offline mode. I hope to go online so that the fear is not seen, but unfortunately it was offline. And I went with such a speaker who stood in front of the Parliament of India and spoke in front of the President. One of the finest speakers of our college, and not only our college, the whole Bangalore. And he being my speaker one, and me being speaker two, I knew it is just a battle to go. We started the prep 1 month before. It was a constitution mood, which meant one of the most toughest moods which we're entering to. I somehow skipped the screening part because it was very less time. And I prepped for it for a long time. Spent 12 hours together prepping for it. 3 days train journey working on my speeches. But unfortunately, in the last, there was a defect in the memorial which we submitted, which is the written submission of what we are going to say. Half of what I was speaking was wrong, and I needed to rectify it within one night. I was sitting in the Pune Law School, and I was wondering what to do. I did not have my friend because he needed to stay in the boys' hostel, and I needed to stay in girls' hostel. And there was no network. I did not have the access to internet. And the last thing I knew, he just gave me 2 words of advice. It's okay if you fail, but give your best. So I just put up all the philosophy I knew, except the knowledge of law was 0, so I left that to him. And somehow came up with a speech of just 15 minutes. I thought we may get just eliminated in the second round. We had 5 rounds, and I thought maybe I would just pass through the second round. But to my shock, we reached the semi-finals, and we had one of the top institutes standing opposite to us, and they had prepped so well that there were 4 bundles of 400 pages in front of them, and they just banged in front of us. And they submitted their memorials and they asked us to review. That was some 200 pages, which I knew could never happen in half an hour time. So the last thing I knew was just tell what I want. There were 6 district court judges. For the first time I was facing judges, and he knew that I was the first timer, and he planned to roast me. I stood by him, somehow built my courage, and gave the first answer. The second time, I was just in such fear and tension that I just neglected his question and told, I shall not answer the following. He got offended and he again asked me. So in legal language, you basically say, Your Honor, I shall not oblige to answer this question. But in spite of he repeating again, I was reluctant and I sat down and I started crying. That was the worst phase. I failed miserably. It was me representing the college for the first time with a speaker, such fine skills. But in spite of this, in the end, we were given the best team for trying so hard. I may have failed that time winning the trophy and giving it to my college. But I did fail and take back huge lessons and learn the drama scenes of law school. Thank you.
Thank you, Vaishnavi, for sharing that experience with us. You worded it really well. Of course, you're a law student, so words are not an issue for you. All right. Next one is failures can lead to the discovery of new paths. A simple example: you're on the road is jammed. There is vehicles, and if you're in Bangalore, of course, both sides are taken up by two-wheelers. So there is no place you cannot cross to get to where you want. So what do? You're going to find one gully here, maybe one gully here. Now you've discovered two new paths to get to your goal. So failure can lead to discovery of new paths. Now this topic has already been booked by Jyoti, so I'm really feeling good about my daily topics here. Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. Failures find a new, failures discover new path. I failed during my school days in 5th standard for my maths. I was a student who would come first and second from the last. And that was the only time I remember during school days when I was called as failed in. Most of my report card was always marked in red. So that was failure. But over a period of time, I remember my mother always used to tell me, participate in whatever you want to do. Getting successful or failing is not important. So for me, the word failure does not come in because I participate in everything that I wish to. It does not matter whether I succeed or I fail, whether I look into some, get something or not. Very recently, my friend joined distance masters from IGNO for MS Psychology. And she told me, you too join. And because I volunteer as a counselor, I said, okay, added subject would add to my knowledge. I joined. I attended all the classes. I attended all the sessions. But when it came to exams, I did go to the examination hall. I sat down for 1.5 hours not knowing what to write. And I wrote the question from the question paper. And I wrote, I'm not able to answer this question. All 3 exams I had registered. I went to the examination hall. I sat down, I wrote the questions and I wrote the answer. I don't know the answer to this question. And finally, after giving 2 attempts, I decided that I'm not going to do my exams. And I do not consider it as a failure, but then understanding that I do not want to study in any academic form. Thank you, and over to the topic. So the failure did give you a new avenue, gave you a new understanding of yourself, and help you make decisions. So excellent. So I believe we have time for one more topic, so I'll go straight to the last one. It is failure makes you hungry for success. So imagine you're playing a game, any game, right? And you're winning all the time, winning game after game after game. What happens after that? You kind of get bored. It's stale, it's not interesting anymore. But let's say you lose a few games. What happens? You suddenly now want to do the next. You are now thinking of strategies. You want to see, okay, what can I do? What do I do? How do I train myself? How do I win the next game? So So the loss stings and you are hungry now for a win. So can you talk about a famous personality or a business or a personal experience that failed, then regroup later to succeed? I invite Toastmasters Sandeep.
Thank you, the Toastmasters, honorable guests and members. Regarding this theme of today and today's topic, I remember one of the stories what I had read in early career of Sachin Tendulkar, and most of you might have already read it. So the chapter's title was "Make Telega." Like first time he faces the West Indies fast bowlers, and he was just 16 or 17 years old, and he gets stuck in his face, and he started bleeding in Pakistan. I think it was Navjot Singh Sidhu who was on the opposite side, and he comes up to Sachin Tendulkar and says, "This is, are you fine?" or something. So Sachin Tendulkar comes back with two words, "Make Telega." So maybe that time his Hindi was not so good, but that story reminds and tells all about all our failures and successes. Like all of us have already shared our fair share of failures and successes. So that story had got stuck with me. So when I came here also, I used to see speakers speaking very fluently, like the speakers we had like here today. So I used to get scared of this forum, and I also ran off from this club. But since then, I have been here for almost, I would say, 12 years. So I'm like Asa Parekh of any judgment reality show for this club now. So when I came, I realized I'm not the person who belongs to this place, but I wanted to play like Dravid side. So because in Bangalore you choose Dravid, so you stay in there, you hang in there, you see how people are reacting, you see how the things you can improve upon. So I have stayed here, I have learned few tricks. I think that is my success here to just survive here. Thank you.
Said it in one sentence and in there. So that's a perfect way to say it. So excellent. If there is so much to be learned from failure, how can failure be bad? So thank you all for sharing and participating in this wonderful round of table topics. A big round of applause for all the people who came. And I feel richer for all the learnings. So one thing though, if this is my debut attempt at Table Topics Master, so I would appreciate feedback from one and all of you for how it went and what I can do better next time. So I'll end with a line from Samuel Beckett. Ever tried, ever failed, doesn't matter. Try again, fail better. Thank you, and back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Lakshmi, for conducting this table topic session in a spectacular manner. Now let us have a short networking break for 10 minutes.
I think if the education for everyone, you know, better.
Coming to the most important session for the day, the gender evaluation session. Today's gender evaluator is the oldest member of Mekong Communication Club. He is the finance manager and territorial council of South Asia. He has served as the past president and VP education for 4 terms each. He has also served as the past VPM and VPPR for 1 term. His hobbies include music and reading. He's also the disciple of late Pandit Sheshadri Gawai. Please put your hands together and welcome VPM MU Bhatt with a huge round of applause.
Thank you, madam, for that wonderful introduction. I think we have one guest who has not introduced himself. Can you introduce yourself?
Hi, good evening, Toastmasters. My name is Shrikanta. I'm basically from Mysore, but currently working at in Bangalore from past 3 years. Currently, working for a company called Benza. It's basically a marketing and advertising agency. So I work as a senior performance marketing.
What brought you here?
I know about Toastmasters from long time, but unfortunately, I couldn't be a part of this. I wanted to work on my communication skills as well as public speaking skills. So that's why I'm here today.
Welcome. You are the right person. Good evening, everybody. For the benefit of our guests, I think one mistake that I didn't follow some, but it's general evaluation is about evaluating the whole program, whatever went on for 2 hours, what went right, so that we can continue to do that or build on that, and see areas where some improvement can be done. This is based on that Japanese concept of kaizen, improving day by day, meeting after meeting. Every time we try to find out how we can improve ourselves. That's how it happens. So my role as a general evaluator is to evaluate generally. That's why the general evaluation. So before I proceed, probably that is our Sergeant answer said that the ballots, we can fill the ballots before getting influenced by the evaluator's remarks. We can write the best speaker and best table topic speaker. Evaluator, you can fill later. I will give you 20 seconds time for that. Thank you. One thing good fine point for the first thing what I found today was the meeting started spot absolutely. That's something really after a long while I'm really happy in spite of the hybrid meeting. Now I think we have come our way. Of course, hybrid is only one handshake now. Nobody is there in online. I think that's also a good point. But even then, starting at 6:30 is the remaining. Of course, we are starting at 6:15, maybe 6:30. Okay, 6:30 is convenient to everybody. Let's meet at 6:30 sharp. One full job done. I think we need to give ourselves a good order. We will a very brief business section for regarding the roles to be taken, and also there was an announcement regarding the newsletter articles for that. I think you are all welcome. You can give the articles for that, send it to Ujjwal, and then came the Sergeant at Arms, Vaishnavi. I think you have got that powerful voice, which is really required for a sergeant. The booming voice that really helps for a sergeant at arms. Your good evening was powerful. You have got a very good voice. You have got very comfortable behind the lectern. Your gestures were very comfortable. That shows your comfort level. And your eye contact was good. You see all over and you give your and you spoke about the theme briefly, what is required, and you introduced it. Yes, we did maybe intro of the president could have been better probably. Actually, what I find is that only one suggestion for you to improve as a speaker I can suggest it, particularly introductions. You are a Sergeant at Arms. So 2 minutes speech or so you are doing, it's much easier to learn it by heart or whatever, be comfortable with that without the training. What happens is for starting a meeting, you look into notes and then speak something. Just for your, it loses that kind of impact. The powerful voice you got and with the icon you also have got. If you don't look at it then by heart and it will become all the more powerful. That's what I felt. That's one thing you can practice in future. Whatever intro is that you make it as though that you know that fellow for 1,000 days. That fellow. It will really come out very well. That's the only thing I can suggest you. But an amazing Sergeant at Arms role you have taken. Let's give a big round of applause for. And President Kukova, there were yes, there were two guests, plus one I got it now. One guest has left. One thing I can tell, I think your name is Suprabha. So one thing is you told about you chose between fun and doing something really worthwhile. But I can tell you this is a combination. It's fun plus doing something really worthwhile. I think all of the members agree. You would also probably found it in last 2 hours. That is fun also. So I can say that you will not be missing the fun, even though it's an intellectual activity. So that's what I can tell. So if you choose to, you can continue to come here. After you already written your comments, so I can tell that on my own personal opinion regarding your tabletop response, one of the finest tabletop responses I've heard for a long time from a guest. Really one very nice. So I think you are really a Toastmaster. Welcome to join our club. I would now suggest it's really a great. You are not because you are also a but terrorists. So different kinds of but anyway, it's all right. So that your guest can always, it's not the one meeting attend. This may be one of those meetings. You can attend for a couple of more meetings and see whether this is the right place for you. And if you feel so, yes, this is the right place, you are welcome. It's up to you to decide. So you can take your call. So that's how it is. And then the our minister meeting was read out by our secretary Shiva. As usual, he does justice by writing an immaculate minister meeting, presents in his powerful voice. Wonderful job done. I think we should give a round of applause to our President. One thing like was now we have started following the protocol, including the lectern thing that I really like that. We started the meeting, and one thing good about this is the practice ground for your future role, because you are taking over being president after another 6 months. So in the absence of president, you are officially the presiding officer, and you have done a very good job. I really liked it. Your story came out so well. You shared the total experience of yours regarding how failure has affected your life in your placement service, all that plan A, B, C, and all that. Ultimately, how your mother told about don't bother about having a plan and all that. But ultimately, you guided another person also to come up over the failure and all that. If the whole story came out well, your introduction of the master ceremony also quite good. I won't have any objection. I like your complete role as a president today. And the only thing as my usual suggestion to you, I told you, still the energy level is involved, because with the president, that Buddhism should come with that kind of what's vitality. That kind of impact comes. And with the kind of support you have got, the comfort you have got. And one thing I liked about your speech was your usual sense of humor. Whatever you do, some thing of humor will be there in between. I really liked it. So that's how we should pick up that. Wonderful job done. Let's give another applause for it. Before I come to you, Pavani, I think let me go to the individual evaluation. There were 2 speeches today. One was an icebreaker. Unfortunately, the speaker himself had to leave probably the meeting today. But in his absence also, I will call upon the individual evaluator Vijay Sendra to give his evaluation. Please.
Thank you, G. Good evening, Toastmasters, welcome guests, especially to my target speaker, Toastmaster Mukesh. This evaluation report will be given by me in absentia of Toastmaster Mukesh. He had some offense as the healer. I will be classifying this in three parts. One is what he excelled, and the area of improvement, and the summary. First of all, congratulations to Toastmaster Mukesh for completing icebreaker speech. He gave a wonderful, inspiring speech. Portrayal of himself and his family is commendable. He highlighted his schooling, studies, sports, interest in psychology. That's total personality what he is carrying was excellently communicated to the group. And what I liked is, though he had some medical conditions, he is a natural fighter. To come back to the positive track of life, that's really a commendable point to be appreciated as an evaluator. And his speech is complete. Why I say so? Though it is his first speech, opening, body, conclusion, everything was in right place. That's really to be appreciated. And if I may say so, an improvement area. He was apologetic whenever he was not able to continue the speech. There is no need at all, because Toastmasters is a place where we are supposed to commit mistake. Unless we commit mistake, we may not be knowing what mistake is all about. I don't consider that to be a mistake in the first place. This is a place to know what mistake and take corrective actions so that we will become a more confident speaker. And coming to summary, overall, good speech. He connected with audience very well. Expecting many more speeches from Toastmaster Mukesh in the course of time. Thank you, and back to you, GF3.
Thank you, Mr. Jayendra, for that comprehensive textbook kind of evaluation. Because you and supposed to evaluate your evaluation rather than the speaker. Let me tell you that you have taken up evaluation only second time, third time. But you are, as usual, comprehensive. Your evaluation was upbeat, positive. You brought about all the positive points of the speaker and some suggestions regarding that. Of course, that sorry part of it was just finding people to find some words sometimes, I think. But honestly, anyway, wonderful evaluation, I can tell you. One of the finest evaluations, very nice evaluation. And I'm not tempted to talk about Mukesh. He is not there. I would like to talk to him because why I attend Toastmasters meetings is each time I attend, at least there will be one thing which is very positive happening. Today, after listening to his speech, Suprabhat's speech, your table talk response, we get a new perception, the way we look at life, how we have to treat life, and the way that Mukesh has, I think whenever he is there, he will see from written or recorded your speakers from recorded speech. So he should see that his thinking is a mature kind of thing. This is what I find. For a young, is a mature man head towards a young body. It is something I reminded, something like that kind of maturity we find rarely find in a young person like that. They're really good when listening to speak. I really thoroughly enjoyed it. Let's give a big round of applause for both of them. Speech was level 1, project 2, part 1, delivered by Sanjana H.A. and evaluated by another Sanjana Pravani. Just
Once again, a very good evening to fellow Toastmasters, esteemed guests, and my target speaker, Sanjana. Firstly, it's always a delight to see the target speaker, as she always had that bright smile on her face. I will categorically divide your speech into 3 segments. The first part is the commendable part of your speech, followed by the area where you could work upon, and thirdly, the place where you could challenge yourself. It was a content-driven speech where the premises was divided into 3 parts, that is the hard work, smart work, followed by network. It was like a concise format of any travel show. Maybe in NDTV Good Times or Fox Travel, very well articulated with pauses which were timed really well. There was a tick on the box of hand gestures as well. And another standing out point of your speech was the usage of PPT presentation without making it look like any other generic corporate presentation. It was very well accommodated in the due course of storytelling. The area where you could probably work on is having a wider range of vocal variety. And a more enthusiastic opening was expected from your end, as you have always, set the standard so high with your previous Sergeant at Arms addresses. But it doesn't take away the fact that it was a very interesting speech, and the audience was hooked onto the speech, as it was like a virtual trip from Bangalore to Spiti Valley. You seem to have used really crisp words like the sun, and also you made it a point to use the word of the day. So all in all, it was a very interesting speech, and I hope you challenge yourself by making use of a myriad range of voice modulations. And I hope that you make use of the same in your upcoming speeches. I wish you all the best, and back to you, January.
Thank you, Sanjana, for that wonderful evaluation. You brought up all the strengths of her speech, what she really did well. You suggested a couple of areas of improvement and where you can challenge yourself. Wonderful, wonderful evaluation. Having said that, let me just tell you about you, because I have about more than 50 years back, I've been to Lahore and Spiti with my wife. But I was not as adventurous as you go on a solo. Even today, I dare not go on a solo. And then I hats off to you for that. There is something really, really amazing. I really liked it. And you brought about that hard working, smart working, and networking. That is not only applicable for solo, but we do that kind of research what you do at, and becoming acting smartly on the way, so that you're not getting carried on with somebody taking advantage of you or something else. And networking, which has really helped you in speaking that family. Really wonderfully brought about. Very nice. Your strengths have, of course, as the evaluator has already told. One thing is about PPT or done one good job. One thing is your biggest strength is you have a very good diction as a speaker. That really gives you good strength in your language. So I feel not many of us have got that kind of diction. You can put that words across. You build on that, very nice. Storytelling techniques also good, and you have done your research very well. Talk everything. I don't have really any suggestion to give as such. Maybe, as I said, some energy level or some voice modulation to bring some more drama into that speaking and all that. Because if I have to talk about my Lahore experience or your Manali experience, that all the snowbound things that get stuck because of the early 3 o'clock itself, it becomes virtually a night time because of clouds, that kind of thing. Some drama and all you have brought about, very nice. But otherwise, a wonderful, wonderful speech. Congratulations on that. Let's give a big round of applause for both the Ranjanas. Table topics, you have got a really powerful Toastmaster now amongst us, or Toastmaster like me. Whatever role she takes up, she does with that kind of enthusiasm, preparation, research. I really like it. And again, you have got also again advantage. which at least I do not have that felicity, the language what you have, not many people have got. You got that kind of presence, you got the kind of language control, you can present yourself very well. And your table topic today concentrated only on the theme. That is a positive as well as a negative point. What happens is everybody asking the same major questions on that, it becomes ceases to be a surprise for many of the people. They will be prepared for this. The very idea of kind is bringing a surprise on a person. That gets lost. But otherwise, you are done with the team. That is also acceptable. There's not a harmful thing in that. I would have preferred that. Only one area, you had asked also for specific improvement from everybody. Only thing is, you are doing a debut performance. Only I would suggest the weekly membership and our BP education. Actually, whenever somebody takes up the role, whether the master ceremony or table topic master or so some kind of orientation, what is expected of them on that day, what are the protocols that of course the see now, for example, both have come up to the expectation. I don't have anything to say. Only one place where I felt that we could have done better was generally you ask persons whether anybody to volunteer and all that, doesn't is not as good as bringing a surprise on somebody, and also giving to non-performers, non-role takers. Now today there are 3 persons who can I'm seeing Sai here with me and seeing your also not responded, I think. Some 3%, I think one also was there. So you chose not to ask them, probably because they did not volunteer. I would have gone to Ankita also was there. I think Ankita was there. Yes. So Ankita also was there. You would have got a good response from Ankita and Sai Sneha. I would have loved to listen to it. Again, it's not because it's not, but generally, plus as soon as you come as a table topic master, because that day you don't know who are going to come. First, make a note of who are of that, other than role takers. Make a note of that. If you don't know the names, or you forgotten because you do not know you are going to come. You can ask this person and make a note of it, and ask the person first. Like that you ask. Then you ask. Maybe volunteering can do it. Of course, by volunteering we have the advantage of the privilege of listening to our. But there is a plus point. But first take the non-role takers. But otherwise, your way you are felicity with language what you have and the comfort that you got, your knowledge background what you have got, it shows in all your performances. All I would say keep it up. These small things you can take care of it. You will become an amazing Toastmaster, and then real lesson for us. Congratulations on that. Let's give a round of applause. One more suggestion to our Sanjana Prabhanjan. See, what is not only for this your role, I'm telling you, for all the roles. See, now we have been following certain protocols. Everywhere it is that the first thing, most important thing in Toastmasters is the lecture is a place which should never be left vacant. Why we give that, and this is a symbol of this master of ceremony. For the president also, I can tell him handing over and giving to the master of ceremony. That ceremony is there, giving with one hand, shaking hands, and giving that, and at the end you give back the same thing. That should also be followed. You know, it gives certain style, and you know it takes our club performance to a higher notch. That's one thing we can practice as because you're a future president also. I'm just suggesting this. So this one protocol you have to follow. There's another thing is about not leaving the lectern vacant any time. So now when you are asked to ask for the evaluation, your first initially when you came to explain your role, objectives of the speech, you even before Anita could shake hands with you, you have got your statement. That can be avoided. Always, whoever is there, she is the master of this. Until you speak, and if you are going on first year to come here, shake hands with her, then you go there. And whether the speaker or the evaluator, whichever role taker, your entry to the lectern should be in style. You know, there should be some, you know, until the last word about the intro is spoken, you don't have to get up and be ready to go there. No. Create some sort of suspense. Introduce it. Then you get up, make a purposeful stride towards the lectern. Shake hands with that master of ceremony, then read. that gives some sort of formality to the meeting. It gives a meeting style to a level high. This one suggestion is common not only for you only, for all of us. We should let us follow that. That's one thing suggestion I can give. And let's come to the individual role takers over here. Now I am left with only role taker, grammarian and first let us listen to our parliamentary procedure evaluator, Udam. Just Udam.
Couple of observations today. There were few phone ringings in between the meetings that can be avoided if it was a guest, so you can come it off to the next meeting. And one more main observation what I had today, sitting there, I had a complete view of everyone, and even the camera, I could see everyone clearly. Though the speaker were not disturbed, but we had couple of crosstalks in between members, especially in the main desk. People sitting in the main desk, please avoid crosstalk. Though your crosstalk may not affect the speaker, the view what we are having, or if we go someday back and see the video what side we're sharing, don't look good. And if someone is entering, people are chatting here, it won't look good. So avoid crosstalk as much as you can. With that, back to the evaluator.
Thank you, Udanka. You are an example of even the smallest of roles, how you can a person can take serious safety. I know also what has been you've been doing as a PPR, and I really liked it. And let's listen to now the report from our R counter, Ujjwal.
A very happy evening once again to all of the Toastmasters and my dear guests. Coming to my report. Firstly, Surgeon Adams Toastmaster Vaishnavi was flawless. Acting President Toastmaster Gaurav, 2 hours, 1 crutch word, 5 times. Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Pavani, CR 1 hour. And during the timer's introduction, Toastmaster Vaishnavi 1 hour. Toastmaster Ujjwal myself 2 hours. Toastmaster Sharanya 2 hours. Coming to the speaker, Toastmaster Mukesh 5 hours, repeated word and 3 times. Coming to the speaker 2, Toastmaster Sanjana H. 5 hours, 2 repeated words, so 4 times and 5 times, and 2 crutch words, 3 times, I mean 2 times. Evaluator 2, Toastmaster Sanjana Prabhajan, 3 hours, 4 rounds. Coming to the table topic master for the day, Toastmaster Lakshmi, 2 hours. And coming to the table topic speakers, Toastmaster Vaishnavi, 2 hours. Toastmaster Jyoti, 2 hours. Toastmaster Sandeep, 2 hours. And guest Suprabha, 1 crutch word, 5 times. And coming to our general evaluator, 3-time member, till now 6 hours and 1 small pause. Thank you, and over to you.
Thank you, Ujjwal, for that comprehensive report. Now let the report from grammarian Sharanya.
Once again, good evening to all fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Toastmasters and the guests did not fail to use good grammar which made the whole session cognizant and sensible. So I start with the good messages: aptitude, out of the blue, bounce back up to your feet, cuisine, bumper, contentive, commute, discern, inculcate, humbling experience, terror-struck, confiscate, seeking validation, commendable, articulate, hooked on, diction. There was disparity between good and not so good usages. It was challenging for me to find out not so good usages. Coming to the not so good usages, rejected company after company could have been rejected by many companies. Started basketball could have been started to play basketball. I have gone to Malaysia could have been I have been to Malaysia. Police people caught me could have been police caught me. Give me the time tomorrow, give me time till tomorrow. go off from here could have been go away from here. It was very less time, could have been there was very less time. Hopefully more I learned, could have been hopefully I learned more. The word of the day was disparity and it is used by Toastmaster Ujjwal, Toastmaster Sanjana Heche and Toastmaster Sharani. Thank you and back to you.
Thank you, Sharanya. I think we are getting more and more very highly competent grammarians amongst us now. You are doing an amazing job as a grammarian, and they like it. Wonderful job done. Let's get a report from our timer, Vaishnavi. Yes, sir.
Once again, good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. The meeting, like General Evaluator mentioned, started sharp at 6:30 p.m. The Sergeant at Arms Toastmaster Vaishnavi took 2 minutes 3 seconds. The President Ajus took 11 minutes. The report by Secretary Toastmaster Shiva Prasad took 2 minutes. Then MC 11 minutes 59 seconds. All the speakers for the table topic session are listed down there. You can look at the timings. The whole timings for table topic master was 6 minutes 36 seconds. The speaker one, I'm sorry for missing out the speaker. This first speaker took 6 minutes 30 seconds. The evaluator took 2 minutes 30 seconds. Speaker 2 took 8 minutes 20 seconds and evaluator 2 took 2 minutes 34 seconds. The break time was for 12 minutes 3 seconds. The general evaluation session till now is for 12 minutes 45 seconds. The lectern did see a lot of stories beyond time, but maybe you have paid a bit with contain the time.
That's fine, because I just doing a lecture to Sharad for that. Anyway, that's on the lighter side. But please always remember, this the place you can shake hands. I love the privilege of shaking hands with your seat. Wonderful job done. One thing good about our club nowadays, what I find is, we are always telling that no role is too small in Toastmasters. There is parliamentary to say evaluator, art council, grammarian, timer. Don't think that they are only lesser roles or whatever kind of. There is a lot of stuff for that for your own creativity there. And we have been seeing it day after day now, the way these role takers explain their role and the way they take up from all these role takers, there is Danka, Upkar, Sanya, or today. Wonderful job. That's really one thing which I really like about what's coming up now. They take their job seriously, do their introduction of the theme, that their role itself very creative, and each week they're telling a different manner. That's what is expected, so it doesn't become monotonous. That's what you all done that. But I think we should give a resounding round of applause for all these work. That best evaluator, those who have not yet done it, you can fill it. Before I go to the master of ceremony, I think she is the last one to be evaluated. Master of ceremony, now I think you are a debutant master of ceremony today. Just as Lakshmi was a debate topic. And one thing I liked about you was you were well dressed for presentation as a master ceremony. That's what is required of master ceremony. In fact, we had a rule in our club earlier. Now we don't follow it. That all the, including myself, as a very bad the president, every meeting, all the speakers, unless the roll call for that is a role taking is not. Otherwise, we at least master of ceremony and the president would be in the attire. Even the girls used to come in the jacket and all that. I still because it was this. Now, of course, that's a bit more informal. But if you bring that kind of formality, it gives that kind of atmosphere to the whole meeting. The whole meeting level goes up with that. You have done that, and you've done a good start for that. And what I liked, another thing was after the meeting, you did not immediately start. What happens is in the particularly for debutant, you have prepared so much notes and all that, and you simply start telling about it. You didn't do that. You stood here, paused, and had a good follow-up. This is what is required of the master ceremony. you should, then you are all the whole persons, you are in the control of the meeting, that shows. And ultimately, when you speak, there will be heat out of your hands. And that's what has happened. That's something really right. It never struck to us that you are a debutant as a master ceremony. Another thing I observed, because I have seen you from the past meeting, the other roles you have taken. You are a quick learner. That's what I've seen. You see, observe what's happening. So you do not wait for master ceremony or your weekly education or somebody what they should do as a master ceremony. Because you have seen what others master ceremony does. In fact, that is what the Toastmasters is about. Toastmasters is about, it is about learning by doing. We learn by speaking ourselves, but we also learn by listening to others speak. So, or what others do well, so that we can implement in our own routine. So that's what you have done. Wonderful job, and that's really liked it. And as far as of course, your smile is sweet, and we can also you have a control. And really, I like that anecdote regarding what you brought about your driving. It's not just a theme, a brief story, but so powerful and so where it directly attacked the theme. Very nicely done, and your gestures were good, comfort was good, and what I really liked at the end thing was a creative connection of Toastmasters with the theme. This I have been repeating every my evaluation or evaluation study. That is one thing we should learn. The master ceremony's creativity lies in giving connection in one point or another. You are the person, binding person who are connecting all the programs together. Even the apparently unconnected team, you are talking about team, and suddenly you go into Toastmasters. That should not be a disconnect. And you did that. You connected so creatively. That is something is expected of master ceremony, and you did wonderfully well. I really liked it. And nowhere I found you was the first time, and your introduction, all the introductions are in place. You saw that you shake hands with everybody before they give the lecture to them, because you are in control of that. That's one thing. So you have, imbibed all the qualities of a professional master ceremony, what I can say. In your debutant speech itself, wonderful job done. I really do not have any suggestion. All I can say is keep up doing the good. That's the only thing. With that, let's give a big round of applause. And now, as usual, session has been one of the most educating for me, at least. I'm sure many of you have heard some of the wonderful speeches today. I really liked it, the way it happened. So let us keep doing this good thing, continue to do this, and whatever the small features here and there, we can try to improve and we can become better. Meeting can be taken to the next level. But otherwise, a wonderful session today. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm sure all of you must have. Let's give a round of applause to ourselves for that. With that, back to you, Master.
Everyone, that was an incredible general evaluation. With this, I hope everyone had a great time in the meeting today, and I hand over the charge back to the acting president, Toastmaster Gowda.
Thank you, Toastmaster family. Thank you for tables for coming on time and starting this meeting after a very long time on time. So okay, let me just jump off with the results. So let me start with tab G. So the best tab G, that is the convenient timer, counter, next goes to the major orders, that is MPG. Goes to general evaluator TTM message. This evaluator Okay, the best evaluator goes to Toastmasters Sanjay for that. Coming to the table topics, okay, it's actually surprising. It's the guest super coming to the guest debates week of today, it's supposed to Toastmasters Sanjay. So yeah, with this, it was a very fantastic meeting. I hope everyone had a very great time. I hope the guests will come show up again in the next meeting as well.